So Malky, if we go back over last weekend, talking to your assistant Kevin last week,
yeah,
I noted the response of most of the other teams in the league to the teams that are full time, and he said he was quite surprised how quickly they responded with changing their training and their tactics. And that was obviously quite evident if you look at the series of results you've had against Motherwell this year, where the improvement has been quite drastic despite the squad being roughly the same. Is that a phenomenon that you've noted with most of the other teams?
I think as the leagues went on, teams are getting more familiar with how each other plays, and not just that, but they're getting more afraid with how their own team plays and how their own team can perform, to their optimal level, And I think you saw that against Motherwell. Albeit we got the early goal against Motherwell, we got a second, and then it just shows you how the dynamics of the game can change when we lost the goal in the second half, which obviously gave the opposition a bit of a lift and gave them something to hold on to, So I guess the learning bit for us, as it's been all season, is to be absolutely concrete in your defensive duties and to get that third goal, which is a wee bit of a cliche that you've heard it in football before, but the third goal would have killed it had we got it,
Looking forward to Sunday's game, you've got Glasgow City. They've got 3 games as it is with, and they're 8 points behind you, so it really is very much a crunch game to hopefully finish off the season for yourselves. In terms of City and how you approach them, are you expecting the game to be like the other games you've played them this season?
I would imagine, given the information you've just said there, they're obviously they need 3 points, so they need to win out of that game. So yeah, I would imagine that they'll have a different game plan against us come Sunday. They need the 3 points.
And in terms of how you approach it with your players, I think from the outside, what fascinates fans and is how do you motivate people every weekend, and you're playing this team for, the third or maybe the fourth time this season, and how do you approach it with that in mind?
I think what we do have is we have personal goals. Each player has personal goals at the start of the season, whether it be I want to create so many assists, I want to score so many goals, and then the objective at the start of any season is that you're looking to try and win. At Rangers we're looking to try and win every game that we go into, so that at the end of the year we're in the place where we want to be, which is exactly where we are right now. But I think it's down to the individual. It's personal standards. It's playing for a big club and the expectations of playing for a big club. And I think that over the last 2 years, each player has improved individually, personally, about achievable goals, setting achievable goals in a fashion that is, there's a process there that they can slowly but surely improve each game, each training session, that they can see that they can see the light at the end of the tunnel, that they are getting that improvement, and it's there as a proof of concept,
And from me, finally, I always ask you about injuries and suspensions. I also bumped into the Aberdeen game. I bumped into Kirsten Riley's dad, and it was very fulsome in praise for the Rangers staff and the way that they'd treated her and the rehab that she's done. She's almost been like a brand new player coming back into Team Kirsten.
Yeah, fantastic.
One of those players who make the people around her play.
Yeah, she again really understands her role within a team. Just like the expectation level of our strikers, we expect them to score goals and give us a return in goals, and which they have done, all 3 of them. Kirsten Riley has a role within the team, a style of play that fits round about everybody else. But not just that, what a fantastic person she is. She has no airs and graces about herself, conducts herself well about the training, conducts herself well in games and away from the pitch. And it was no surprise to me the focus that she had shown when she got the bad news about the back. how well she kept herself fit, given the fact it was a back injury and it really limited her to what kind of training she could do. But her focus is there, and not just for her, but the kind of mindset that she's shown to everybody else, and everybody else learned from other players, younger players, to actually in the moment experience that, being next to Kirsten Riley and her attitude and how she went about it, that learning bit for everybody else, the development stage for the younger ones was great.
Obviously on the brink of a significant achievement on Sunday, if results are positive for Rangers. With that in mind, is there a slight tinge of frustration or disappointment that the game couldn't be at Ibrox and there's not another opportunity to mark the occasion with something similar to what we saw against Aberdeen the other week there?
I think the occasion itself is the focus, So whilst we were really appreciative of having Ibrox Stadium and everything that went with that, to achieve what we set out for at the start of the season will be that'll not take the gloss off anything. So we could be playing in the car park for all I care. It's just fantastic. Really proud and total admiration of the girls, the staff, to get us to this position that we're in. And our focus is solely on the 3 points come Sunday.
Okay, in terms of Lizzie Arnott, Lizzie was obviously shortlisted for Player of the Year and unfortunately missed out on Sunday. Given that she's been a hugely significant contributor to your team this season, did that come as a bit of a surprise to you?
No, I think just when we're speaking to Mark there, personal goals. I think the personal goals need to have a realism about them, So obtaining a Player of the Year is down to somebody's opinion or the consensus of people's opinions. I think what Lizzie's got is a focus about representing Rangers Football Club week in, week out, and winning games for Rangers Football Club, which she's done. So listen, sure, it'd have been nice. It's nice to get those accolades and get those prizes, which is great. But the number one prize is 3 points every game, and at the end of the season, hopefully we can lift some silverware.
And last one from me, obviously, you have the opportunity to clinch the title on Sunday against Glasgow City, who have pretty much been the dominant force in the game for a significant period of time now. Are you kind of viewing this now as an opportunity for Rangers to do something similar to what Glasgow City have done over the next few years?
Well, I think it would be too early. I think we would, first and foremost, we'll get this. We'll get the next 2 training sessions out the way first and foremost. Then we'll look at the game in isolation. And that's what we've done, and I know it's a wee bit of a cliche, and it's probably boring that I'm saying that, but that's our philosophy. And I think as long as you adopt that philosophy and you don't look too far ahead of yourself, the prizes will come.